All right, let's do this. Get ready for a deep dive into the world of dismantling workers. We're going to help you totally ace that interview.
It's not your average desk job, right?
You got it. We're talking serious hands-on work, problem solving on a whole other level.
Huge machinery, industrial equipment, sometimes even entire buildings.
Whoa, hold on. Entire buildings?
Oh yeah, you could be dismantling anything, but always as part of a skilled team, working under a leader with safety as the top priority.
So teamwork and safety are like the dynamic duo of this job.
Absolutely. And what's really cool is that it's not just about brute strength.
Oh, so brains matter too.
Big time. You gotta be smart to figure out how to take things apart safely and efficiently. Every job is a puzzle.
A puzzle with giant pieces.
And whether you're just starting out or you've got tons of experience, this deep dive is for you.
And guess what? We've got RoleCatcher's Insights, AD, their AI, to help us out. Plus, we're tackling 9 tough sample interview questions.
RoleCatcher's AI is like having a secret weapon. It can really help you fine-tune your CV and boost your chances of getting past those automated screening systems.
Wait, back up. Automated screening systems. What's that all about?
Well, a lot of companies use these AI systems now to sort through applications.
So, like a robot recruiter.
Kind of, yeah. It scans your CV for keywords and phrases that match the job description.
And if it doesn't like what it sees,
your application might not even reach a human.
So our CV needs to speak robot to get in the door.
Exactly. And RoleCatcher's AI helps you do just that.
That's pretty awesome. So it helps us get past the robot and into the interview room, but can it help us once we're in there?
Oh, absolutely. This is where it gets really cool. You can practice your answers to those interview questions with RoleCatcher and get feedback that's specific to the job you're applying for.
Wow, so it's like having a personal interview coach in my pocket.
Pretty much. It can even analyze video rehearsals.
Okay, hold on. It can see how we're doing in a video. That's next level.
It gives you feedback on your body language and delivery.
Mind blown. Before we get into those questions, let's take a quick look at RoleCatcher's career guide.
Good idea. It's always good to get the bigger picture. One thing that stands out is the job outlook. It's projected to be stable.
Stable, so there's consistent demand for dismantling workers.
That's right. There's always construction, renovation, and demolition happening.
Plus, everyone's talking about recycling and reusing materials these days.
Exactly. So the need for skilled dismantling workers is likely to grow even more.
Job security. Sign me up. But tell me, is there room for growth in this field? Can you climb the ladder, so to speak?
Absolutely. RoleCatcher points out some exciting career paths, becoming a team leader, taking on bigger projects, maybe even specializing in something like electrical or structural demolition.
So you could be the expert in taking down those massive power plants.
Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty cool, but let's be real for a second. This job isn't for everyone, right?
Right. It's demanding work.
RoleCatcher lays out some pros and cons. What are some of the things people should really consider?
Well, on the plus side, you'll be in great shape. It's physically tough, but you're always learning new skills.
And every day is different.
Yeah, you're working with cool tools and equipment. It never gets boring.
Okay, that sounds pretty awesome. But what about the downsides?
Of course, there are some challenges. It can be dangerous with exposure to hazards, long hours, heavy lifting. You know, sometimes you'll be working in tough environments.
So that'd be tough, both physically and mentally.
You got it.
Okay, enough chit-chat. Time to tackle those interview questions. We've got 9 key ones from RoleCatcher, and we're going to break them down one by one to help you craft some awesome answers.
And remember, each question is a puzzle. The interviewer is looking for specific things.
So we got to figure out what they're really asking, right?
Exactly. Understanding the why behind the question is key to giving them the answer they want.
Okay, bring on the first question.
All right, here it is. Can you describe your experience with dismantling heavy machinery?
It sounds pretty straightforward. Just tell them what you've worked on, right?
Well, it seems simple, but they're looking for more than just a list of machines. They want to know you've actually done this stuff.
So how do we make our answer stand out?
Don't just say, I've worked on bulldozers. Give specific examples. What types of machinery? What were the challenges? What tools did you use? The more detail, the better.
I bet they're listening for those details. They want to know you're not just talking the talk, you're walking the walk.
Exactly. And be ready for follow-up questions. They might ask about the most challenging dismantling project you've ever tackled. Have a good story ready.
Okay, I'm starting to get the hang of this. What's the next question?
All right, get ready for this one. How do you ensure safety protocols are followed during dismantling projects?
Ooh, that one sounds intense. Safety's a big deal.
It's huge. And they want to see that you take it seriously, not just for yourself, but for the whole team.
So what are they really looking for here?
They want to see that you understand the why behind safety rules. Don't just rattle off a list. Explain your personal approach. What steps do you take to make sure everyone stays safe?
And I bet they want to know if we've ever had to correct someone else's unsafe practices, right?
You got it. That shows leadership. It means you're not afraid to speak up when you see something wrong.
I get it. It's about having the guts to do the right thing, even when it's tough. All right, let's move on to question 3.
Here we go. Can you describe your experience with welding and cutting equipment?
The tools of the trade.
Yeah.
So do we just list all the welding techniques we know?
Focus on the stuff that's most relevant to dismantling.
Right, because there are tons of different welding techniques out there.
Exactly. Mention any training or certifications you have. Be specific about the types of welds you're comfortable with.
And safety. Got to talk about safety precautions.
Always. They want to know you can handle the tools safely.
All right, I'm ready to weld some answers. What's next?
How do you approach a dismantling project that involves hazardous materials?
Whoa, this one feels a bit scary. Hazardous materials. That's serious stuff.
It is, and they want to see that you understand the risks.
So how do we nail this answer?
First, never downplay the danger. Show them you know how serious it is.
Right, safety first.
Then, lay out your step-by-step approach. How do you identify those materials? What safety protocols do you follow? Be specific.
And I bet personal stories are really powerful here.
Absolutely. If you've ever dealt with a hazardous materials situation, talk about it. Tell them how you handled it safely and effectively.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, question number 5. Hit me.
All right, this one's about the heavy lifting. Can you describe your experience with rigging and hoisting equipment?
So should I just list every piece of equipment I've ever seen?
It's not about quantity, it's about showing you know how to use the equipment safely and correctly. Chains, slings, shackles, have you worked with them? Do you know how to inspect them?
Right, got to make sure that stuff's not going to break.
Exactly. And talk about different types of hoisting equipment. Cranes, forklifts, you name it.
I bet they'll ask about weight limits and load calculations too, right?
For sure. Safety is paramount, so they'll want to know you understand the limits. And be prepared to talk about signaling. Have you ever guided a crane operator?
That sounds pretty intense, but it shows you can work as a team.
Exactly. All right, ready for question 6?
Bring it on.
Okay, here it is. Can you describe a time when you had to troubleshoot a problem during a dismantling project?
Ooh, this is where we get to tell a good story. Everyone loves a good problem-solving story.
They're looking for your ability to think on your feet and stay calm under pressure.
So what kind of story should we tell?
Choose a situation that was challenging, but you were able to solve it. Walk them through your thought process. How did you figure out what was wrong? What steps did you take to fix it?
Did you have to get creative? Did you work with others to find a solution?
Exactly. Show them that you're resourceful and you don't give up easily.
And don't forget the lesson learned. What did you take away from that experience?
Right. Show them that you're always learning and growing.
All right, on to question number 7.
Here we go. Can you describe your experience with project management during dismantling projects?
Wait a minute, project management. That sounds like a question for someone with more experience.
It might seem that way, but even if you haven't had a formal project management role, you've probably used those skills before.
Really? Like when?
Think about times when you had to plan something, organize a group, or even just manage your own time effectively. Those are all project management skills.
Huh, I never thought of it that way. So what kind of examples would really impress them?
Talk about a time when you went above and beyond. Maybe you anticipated a problem and prevented it from happening. Or maybe you came up with a more efficient way to do something. Show them you're a leader, even without the title.
Okay, got it. What's next?
All right, this one's important. Can you describe your experience with environmental regulations during dismantling projects?
Environmental regulations. That sounds a bit overwhelming. Do I need to know every single rule?
Relax. It's not about memorizing every regulation. It's about showing them that you care about the environment and you follow the rules.
So how do I do that?
Think about your work. How do you make sure you're protecting the environment? Have you ever worked on a project that involved recycling or reclaiming materials? How do you handle hazardous waste?
Right. It's about showing them what you do, not just what you know.
Exactly. And if they mention a regulation you're not familiar with, don't be afraid to ask for clarification. It shows you're eager to learn and comply.
Great tip. All right, last question. Bring it on.
Okay, here it is. How do you ensure effective communication with team members during dismantling projects?
Communication. Seems pretty basic, right?
It is, but it's absolutely crucial in this job. One miscommunication could lead to a big mistake.
So how do we really knock this answer out of the park?
Talk about your proactive approach to communication. Do you make sure everyone understands their roles? Do you use clear language? Are you a good listener? Do you double-check instructions?
And what about those tough conversations? Like when you have to give someone bad news or address a conflict.
Excellent point. They want to see that you can communicate effectively, even in challenging situations.
Wow, we just covered 9 interview questions. I feel like I just ran a marathon of dismantling knowledge.
But think about it. You're now way ahead of other candidates. You're prepared, you're confident, and you're ready to impress.
And remember, we've got RoleCatcher in our corner. Their AI can help us refine our answers even further. We can practice with their interview simulator and get personalized feedback.
It's like having a personal interview coach right in your pocket.
Okay, we've covered a lot of ground already. We've explored what it takes to be a dismantling worker and tackled those tricky interview questions. And let's not forget about RoleCatcher. Their AI is a game changer.
Absolutely. It can really help you stand out from the competition.
All right, time for a quick breather before we jump into part 2 of this deep dive. Stay tuned because we got even more insights coming your way.
We'll be back soon with more tips and strategies to help you land that dream job. Welcome back. Ready for more interview question action?
Hit me with them. I'm feeling fired up and ready to go.
All right, let's tackle question number 7. Can you describe your experience with project management during dismantling projects?
Ooh, project management, huh? That sounds a little intimidating, to be honest, especially if you've never actually had like a project manager title.
I get it, but don't let that throw you off.
So even if I'm applying for, an entry-level position, I should be ready to answer this.
Absolutely. It's not about having a fancy title. It's about showing you've got those core project management skills, planning, organizing, coordinating, problem solving. You've probably used these skills in other areas of your life without even realizing it.
Oh, so like what? Give me an example.
Think about a time when you had to take charge of something, even if it was a small project. Maybe you organized a group project in school or planned a family event. Maybe you just managed your own time really well to juggle a bunch of different things. The key is to highlight those transferable skills.
I see what you're saying. So instead of saying, I've never been a project manager, I could say something like, I'm highly organized and proactive, and I've got a proven track record of managing multiple tasks and meeting deadlines. Something like that.
Perfect. And then back it up with a specific example. Tell a story that shows you in action. Maybe you coordinated a team of volunteers for a community cleanup or came up with a really creative solution to overcome some kind of obstacle.
Make it memorable. Got it. Okay, what's next on our list of interview brainbusters?
All right, let's dive into question 8. Can you describe your experience with environmental regulations during dismantling projects?
Environmental regulations. That sounds kind of heavy. Do they expect me to know, like, every single environmental law out there?
No. Relax. It's not about memorizing a bunch of rules and regulations. It's about showing that you take environmental responsibility seriously and that you know how to follow the rules.
Okay, phew. That makes me feel better. So how do I show that I'm all about protecting the planet?
Think about your work. How do you make sure you're complying with those regulations? Have you ever worked on a project that involved recycling or reclaiming materials? How do you handle hazardous waste? What steps do you take to minimize pollution?
So it's all about those everyday actions that show I'm committed to doing things the right way.
Got it. All right, bring on the final question. This one's all about communication. How do you ensure effective communication with team members during dismantling projects?
Communication. Seems simple enough, right?
It is, but it's so important, especially in a job like this where things can get pretty complex.
Yeah, one little miscommunication could lead to a big problem.
Exactly. So you need to be a proactive communicator. Make sure everyone understands their roles, use clear language, be a good listener, all those essential communication skills.
Right. But what about those times when things get a little tougher? Like when you have to deliver bad news or maybe address a conflict with a team member?
Great point. They want to see that you can handle those tricky situations too.
So it's about showing that I can communicate effectively no matter what's going on.
Okay, I'm feeling pretty confident now. We've covered all those tough interview questions, and I'm starting to feel like a dismantling pro.
You should be proud of yourself. We've covered a lot of ground, and you're well on your way to acing that interview.
And don't forget, we've got RoleCatcher in our corner. Their AI can give us even more personalized feedback and help us practice with their interview simulator.
It's like having a personal interview coach right in your pocket.
Okay, but before we move on, can we take a step back for a second and talk about the big picture? Like the career path of a dismantling worker.
Absolutely. It's important to see beyond just that first job interview and think about where this career could take you.
Exactly. So what are some of the opportunities for growth? Can you actually climb the ladder in this industry? Well, one of the things that really stood out in RoleCatcher's career guide was the potential for specialization.
Oh yeah, I remember them mentioning that. Like specializing in electrical systems or structural demolition. That makes a lot of sense. The more experience you gain, the more you can focus on a particular area.
Exactly. It's like any other field. You start with a broad foundation, and then as you gain expertise, you can really niche down.
So you could become like the go-to expert for a specific type of dismantling. That's pretty cool.
Right. And as you become more specialized, you might have the opportunity to move into leadership roles, managing teams, overseeing bigger projects. You could even contribute to developing new dismantling techniques and technologies.
Wow. Be at the forefront of innovation. Now that's exciting.
It's not just about the technical stuff either. As you progress, you might also have the chance to get involved in the business side of things, like estimating project costs, bidding on contracts. You could even start your own dismantling company.
Whoa. Start my own business. Okay, now we're talking. So many possibilities. It's inspiring to think about all the different paths this career could take you.
It all starts with landing that first job, so keep preparing, keep practicing, and keep that vision in mind.
Great advice. All right, that wraps up part 2 of our deep dive. We've tackled those tough interview questions and explored the exciting career paths available in the dismantling industry. But we're not done yet.
In part 3, we're going to delve into the world of AI and how RoleCatcher can help you craft a CV and cover letter that'll make you stand out from the competition.
So stay tuned for the grand finale. We'll be back soon with more tips and strategies to help you land that dream job. Welcome back for the final part of our deep dive into the world of dismantling workers. We've prepped for those interview questions, we've explored career paths, and now it's time to unleash the secret weapon, AI. This is where RoleCatcher's AI really shines. I'm ready to hear all about it.
Yeah.
I've got to admit, writing a CV and a cover letter, it's not my favorite thing. It can be kind of daunting, you know?
I hear ya. But RoleCatcher's AI takes all the guesswork out of it.
Oh, tell me more. How does it do that?
It analyzes the job description and then suggests all the relevant skills and keywords to include in your CV. It's like having a personal CV consultant.
So instead of just listing everything I've ever done, I can use RoleCatcher to tailor my CV to each specific job I apply for.
Exactly. Think of it like this. You upload your CV to RoleCatcher, and then you paste in the job description. The AI looks at both and highlights the skills the employer is looking for. It's pretty amazing.
Wow, so it's basically showing me exactly what the hiring manager wants to see.
Pretty much. And it doesn't stop there. RoleCatcher's AI can also help you quantify your achievements. Remember those star stories we talked about?
Those are good. Making those skills come to life.
Exactly. The AI can help you weave those stories into your CV, making it way more impactful.
Okay, this is blowing my mind. But what if writing isn't really my strong suit?
Don't sweat it. RoleCatcher's AI can even help you write better. It suggests stronger action verbs, more concise phrasing. It can even help you avoid those common CV cliches that everyone uses.
It's like having a professional editor on call 247. Sign me up. But wait, what about cover letters? Those can be even trickier than CVs.
No worries. RoleCatcher's AI has got you covered there too. It can help you create personalized cover letters that really stand out.
No more generic, boring cover letters. Ooh! Each one will be tailored to the company and the job I'm applying for, right?
Absolutely. It'll highlight your skills and experience and explain why you're the perfect fit for the role. It's like having a personal marketing team.
RoleCatcher's AI is like the ultimate job search tool. Tailoring your CV, crafting your cover letter, even helping you with those interview questions. It's amazing.
It's all about giving you the tools you need to succeed. And the best part is, it's always learning. RoleCatcher's AI stays updated with the latest hiring trends and technologies.
So it's like having a secret weapon that's constantly evolving. That's incredible. Well, we've reached the end of our Dismantling Worker deep dive. It's been a wild ride. We've talked about everything from the nitty-gritty of the job to the power of AI in your job search.
And remember, you've got the skills, you've got the knowledge, and now you've got the AI advantage with RoleCatcher. Go out there and rock that interview.
And remember, showcase your passion for this work.
Yeah.
You're not just taking things apart. You're part of something bigger. Sustainability, resource management, building a better future. So go out there and make a difference. Good luck. You've got this.